All right, how's everyone doing? I have a special guest on the channel today. Well, a couple special guests, but one flew all the way in from Boston, Vlad Ivanov, Vlad the Prophet, as many people know.
How we doing, guys?
And I don't know if as many people know, but if you're on Twitter, Mark E Liberty, Mark's been down here helping me with some of my Bitcoin Cash merchant adoption. He's onboarded a number of the gas stations with me down on the south side in the Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood area, Davie area, those pockets. Been super helpful with that. And today we had a conference in Palm Beach County, the Palm Beach County Convention Center, called the Crypto Connect Conference. And we were walking around networking today. My brother actually had a child last night, so I was a little late coming, but it was really cool. We're back in my office now. We're gonna get prepped, and we're gonna have a booth going tomorrow and making a cool little YouTube video of everything. So there's no one actually hopping on live yet. I wanna make sure that we are public. It's very strange. Tell me if you see that on live. If it's not, we'll reshoot it.
I'll check on that.
Yeah, we got someone on. So,
Right,
so I just want to make sure. Usually people hop in pretty quick here. So again, we were doing an event. We're setting up a booth. We're shooting a YouTube video. We just had some Bitcoin pizza paid for Bitcoin Cash.
Bitcoin Cash. It tasted better.
So I'll let the guys do some introductions. If you guys don't know Vlad, you can make an introduction, then Mark, and then we'll hop into talking some Bitcoin Cash drama, which there's lots to talk about.
So, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know me. If you follow Ryan, you're probably here for Bitcoin Cash, so then you similarly probably follow me. If you don't, my YouTube channel is Vlad the Prophet. I talk about Bitcoin Cash. I've delved into smart Bitcoin Cash, and I talk about a few other things on my channel. And I mean, I guess I'll see you there on the next video.
Awesome. Mark?
And I'm sure you guys have been seeing some of my posts on Twitter about the merchant adoption here in South Florida with Ryan's assistance. I am not on YouTube yet.
Will be soon.
To be seen.
Awesome. So yeah, we're just hanging out, meeting some different people. Met some a really cool guy in the Monero industry and all that. So a lot of cool stuff. You know, Vlad's pretty impressed on just how much general interest he's seen in South Florida versus Boston. Would you say there's more interest in South Florida that you saw, or?
Yeah, I mean, what you also mentioned is that these conferences are like a typical thing that happen down here quite often. So I mean, we don't really see that in Boston. At least nothing to my knowledge that I've seen, and I'd like to see this happen in Boston. I'd personally like to just seeing Mark and Ryan talk about adoption today. I'd like to even give that a shot over in Boston, and it's a very seamless system the way that we paid for dinner tonight. It's very simple, it's very clear cut, and I think it's very easily adoptable, and I'd like to see Boston have
so stay tuned. I'm going to be going to Boston in November, and we're going to try to get some merchants on board so Vlad can spend his Bitcoin Cash more around Boston.
I don't want to hold my Bitcoin Cash, I want to spend it.
So yeah, we were just chatting a lot today, catching up, obviously being with someone in the community, and we couldn't help but think of all the drama, right? And I thought it'd be interesting just to kind of maybe open the forum a little bit, on just all the tension going on, and what does it mean for Bitcoin Cash? Is it really how bad is it? And can the community make amends? I've seen a lot of community members that just I would call it infighting, and it's challenging to see because these are all people that I really admire and care for, that are at our odds, and there's a general mission we all agree to here, but I've seen various things. I saw someone attacked my, Mark Felzon, who helped me get my flip starter going, and on Twitter the other day. Obviously, there's some fighting with, CoinFlex and Roger Ver, and I saw some fighting with Bitcoin Jason Hayden, and saw people calling out firstmill.com. There's so much drama, and I'm I want to put all these things on the forefront and be let's kind of rally the community and say, what things can we get past, and just have a conversation. And I want to look at the chat real quick. Feel free to give us any comments if you guys care to talk about any of these topics, and hit the thumbs up button so more people can enter the chat. But yeah, I really, we were talking a lot about it, and people are just generally concerned for the people that have money on smart BCH and just different topics. But what's your takeaway from all of the Bitcoin Cash drama, and how does that make you feel about Bitcoin Cash as a whole?
I mean, personally, it's just we're in the down market with everything, not just cryptocurrency stocks, everything. I mean, having, dealing with inflation, everyone's struggling, negativity breeds negativity, and naturally, we're all losing money, so, it's going to breed in, internal fighting, and I feel that's a lot, in play of like what's happening. Everyone's losing, so now you want to like, it just creates more of a negative environment where, when we were in the heart of like, everything rising, like there wasn't all this like drama and stuff. So, I mean, I'd like to just say, like, I personally still think that like Smart Bitcoin Cash, like, still has like huge potential, and I think that, Shawgate is like one of the biggest, factors in, reviving, people's trust into the, Smart Bitcoin Cash world. So I still, I haven't, lost hope for it. I think that a lot of people are kind of like speculating, like, what the future is going to be with it. And I personally, I don't want to point any fingers to anyone. I don't hold anything negative towards anyone. I feel like a lot of the people who are involved have contributed massively to the community anyway. And I still think that with a decentralized bridge, Smart Bitcoin Cash can continue to rise. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, you guys, if you're in the comment section, feel free to comment. I'm not seeing comments, which is unusual for my video, even though I see people in the chat. Just want to make sure you guys can hear us well. And I was really hoping to kind of get community feedback on everything. Mark, do you pay attention to much of the drama, or are you just so focused on peer-to-peer cash you don't even see it?
I am seeing a little bit of drama, and I think a lot of that is primarily because we are in a down market, and people are frustrated, and they're doing things that they probably normally wouldn't do in a bull market. But to me, that also is indicative of a bottom. When you have people at each other's throats and people doing and saying things that they wouldn't normally do, including selling their crypto, that to me is generally the signs of a bottom. If not a bottom already in, a bottom that's very near. So in general, I'm very optimistic by a lot of the things I see happening in Bitcoin Cash in terms of the adoption and the new scaling, the added features, the new bridges hopefully coming online, everything happening with Smart BCH, and the bridge to BNB. So I'm very optimistic by a lot of the things I see happening in the community. So to me, I'd rather focus on that than a lot of the petty infighting. One of my mentors would often tell me, whatever we focus on expands. We're helping to create, so I'd rather focus on positive rather than the negative.
So yeah, just thinking about, how bad things got, right? Like, like how much worse could it have gotten for Bitcoin Cash? But the issue with the bridge, and obviously just the general nature of the market, right? Like Bitcoin Cash is just also going to have a tough time because the market's having a tough time because exchanges are getting shut down. All these different things. So I think what you guys are saying is right. These are normal things that happen during bear markets. There's just less money to go around. People lose money and people get frustrated. And it's just interesting to see so many what I view as community leaders, getting put out there in positions where people are criticizing them, and when they were more of like the heroes of the market before. So, but I do think it's indicative of a bottom, because I can't picture it getting too much worse. But as they say, hold my beer. So we'll have to see.
Hold your coffee.
Hold my coffee. So that's yeah. So I see a comment over here real quick. Want to make sure we back there. Hello from Belgium. Yep, peer-to-peer cash for the world. Good to see you. So yeah, I guess that's a general question for anyone watching. Like, has the market bottomed, right? Like, and certainly, I think Bitcoin Cash, may have bottomed when other coins haven't, right? Like Bitcoin Cash, I feel like had a very hard time, and I think seeing Bitcoin Cash going to $100, that seems to be a relatively strong floor. But yeah, so I wish everyone well. I've sent messages to other community members that are under scrutiny and pressure, and wish them well, and hope they continue building in Bitcoin Cash. That's the thing, when we challenge people and we make them not as encouraged to build in the space, like that's actually counterintuitive to what we want. While you may feel frustrated towards someone if they're not doing what you think they should be doing with a flip starter or this or that, right? I think when you ostracize these people and put them out there to dry, I think it actually does more the opposite of what you want. You want them to be performing better, and this is a voluntary network that we don't need this to pay our bills, but this is just something that we want to make the world better for whatever reason in our own views. So what do you think, Vlad? Has the market bottomed?
I mean, I think if it hasn't, then I mean we're pretty close to it. I think today we're kind of creeping back down. I think I forget what we're like 110 today maybe. So I mean, do I see it going below 100 again? I mean,
this is Vlad. Someone's asking, is that Vlad? This is the Vlad.
Yes, this is the Vlad the Prophet.
He's here in my office in South Florida. We're preparing for. Actually, Vlad's leaving tomorrow, but we had a nice dinner. We went to a crypto event, and yeah, so we're gonna get some things ready for the event, some supplies here and marketing materials for Bitcoin Cash, and we want to promote the event going on in St. Kitts to make sure more people are aware of that and the good things that Bitcoin Cash is doing that they're not aware of.
So I mean, I'm going to try my best to be able to fly out to St. Kitts and kind of support that. I do have a business that I run, so sometimes my time is scarce, but I'll make it to my best ability to try.
Sorry, I'm trying to read the comments. Says, I will listen to you in a few hours now. Oh, he's going to sleep. Yeah, get some rest. You're always here supporting Bitcoin Cash. I really appreciate it. Cheers from Belgium. And I just wanted to definitely take advantage of this opportunity to go live with Vlad. We are making a video of some of the stuff that we're doing today and using Bitcoin Cash and just crypto in general. And we met some cool guy in the Monero community who's very friendly to Bitcoin Cash as well. So, building a cross-coin community, we all can work together. So yeah, I think it's a general sentiment that the market has if it hasn't bottomed, is darn close to the bottom. And I don't know how much worse things get for Bitcoin Cash, but I do want to just lend that out there. If these challenging, I'd like to see if any ways I could heal wounds between community
Bitcoin
members.
Cash Daddy.
Yeah, that's too funny.
But it's cool today, especially at the conference. Like we met a lot of people who were not very knowledgeable on Bitcoin Cash, and when we started to explain to them that the fact that it has an EVM too for like smart Bitcoin Cash, they were really open to it and they wanted to learn about it, and they started asking a lot of questions. But also just in general, like Bitcoin as peer-to-peer cash too, a lot of people were very curious, and a lot of people were like, wow, we can actually do this. So I think maybe just the awareness isn't fully there for a lot of people who are looking to build on these networks, and that's what all three of us collectively are here for today.
Yeah, I agree on that wholeheartedly, and I encountered that down in my neck of the woods in Broward County and Miami-Dade County as well. A lot of people just don't know what Bitcoin Cash is, what it's capable of, and how they can use it. And a big part of what I'm doing is just educating people and letting them know that this is available to them, and they can use it for payments. They can go out and buy fuel. They can buy food. They can go to restaurants. They can, if they have people they want on board, by all means contact us. We can help them on board. The low fees, the execution, the scalability, the EVM. I mean, it's really remarkable, all in one coin. And I think that's a big part of what we all should be doing, is just educating and spreading the word, and making things better for the entire community.
So there's
focus on the positive.
Yeah, and focusing on the positive. That's what I'm trying to I wanted to do the video just to kind of talk about the drama. Like there was just a comment there, First Mill fake AF, like the P's getting out there criticized. But I think you could say that, but if you look at the guy, let's say First Mill, he's made more Bitcoin Cash content than anyone.
Yeah, indeed.
So while if someone does something wrong, right, or in your eyes wrong, I don't even know if it matters, right? I was talking to Vlad at the conference today. It's maybe Bitcoin Cash, just I don't like dollars, right? But I use them. And I don't like a lot of other people who use dollars, but I use them. I think Bitcoin Cash will be that. So you don't have to like everyone, but I definitely think at these infantile stages, the currency, having some kind of collective community that's excited to push it out there is important. But I don't know how decentralized networks are so different than a company, right? I built a company, I get everyone lined up, I build positions, you pay them, and it's easier. But decentralized voluntary networks are much more complex, difficult things to build. And me as my experience building businesses, I'm trying to use my skills that I feel are relatable to do it. And First Mill, I think we should be a little bit more understanding. I think First Mill, if you're watching this video, I think I see you're going through some stuff, and I wish you well with that. I do appreciate all the work you've done in Bitcoin Cash, and there are things that I saw that I didn't care for. I'm to be honest, but in general, you know, I don't expect everyone to be perfect. I'm not perfect, so those are my thoughts towards it. And then I see again, here's another one, Mark Falzon stole money. I know more about the context of what's going on with Mark Falzon, so I definitely disagree with that statement. I think you will learn more. I've worked with Mark in the background I've worked with Mark in the background. He's making a very cool open source map for Bitcoin Cash that actually has really cool features that will tell you the last time a merchant spent crypto at a location. Because like we went to a place I onboarded. I haven't been there in a while, so they don't get transactions all the time, and we had to retrain them on using it. You know, so these are very hard things in adoption to make sure that these people learn these tools. So again, we want to criticize these people, but I don't think that's the best strategy. And tell me this is just my opinion, right? And people can criticize me too. Like I have a flip starter. I feel like I could be doing better, and I'm trying to do better, So I definitely think these people, I think their nature is good. And that's why I want to make this video talking about the drama, and I hope people have a more open mind to it and realize how hard this is to do, especially during a bear market. So any thoughts on that, guys?
Yeah, to piggyback off that, like, a lot of these people who are under fire right now, are also under fire because everyone's pissed off right now because, everyone's...
Blood Phantom. Good to see you, brother.
Very first meal in Thailand, having the time of his life. I mean, I hope he is. Whether, people want to believe, like, the bad things or the good things, like, everyone should just, live their best life. So hopefully First Mill is living it up in Thailand. But just to piggyback off what Ryan's saying is, like, a lot of these people right now are under scrutiny, but, like, just because there's like certain things going on in this moment in time, it doesn't take away from everything that they've done in terms of like the past. Like, for example, using First Mill as an example again, like all of his content that he's made, imagine how many people he's onboarded and already put onto the network, and you can't take away from that. So there is a lot of scrutiny on these people right now because everyone's pissed off at this moment. But if you evaluate, everyone's...
Yeah, I have an idea what to fix it. If Bitcoin Cash was 10,000 a coin, I don't think anyone would care.
I don't care, exactly. So it's more. You gotta also see it's an internal thing.
It's the nature of the bear market, I think. So I think these are natural things. So Alex is a great investor, but not so much in the BCH space per se. But Alex, we're just talking about during the bear market. I don't think Bitcoin Cash is unique in this, but there's a lot of drama, right? I'm sure there's a lot of drama in the Luna community, right? Or these different ones, right? Like it could be worse, guys. Our chain still works, so that's good.
Well, that's actually a perfect segue to my next thought. I actually went to a Bitcoin meetup recently with an encountered gentleman who was in El Salvador for the deployment when I guess Mark was there shooting his video and everything. And I asked him, he was actually working on the deployment of the Shivo wallet, and I asked him, well, why didn't you guys use the Moon wallet or something else that was actually using Lightning
in a non-custodial way?
And non-custodial, because actually a lot of
Moon
people
is
don't know this.
non-custodial.
Shivo is highly centralized and custodial.
Yeah.
So his answer to me was, it just wouldn't scale.
I know.
It wouldn't scale on Lightning. So I don't know if you guys realize what we have with Bitcoin Cash. We have a solution that actually works.
Yeah.
That can operate not just a city,
Lightning
not
will,
just a country,
Lightning
but
will
several
never,
countries.
Lightning will never scale, at least for a long time, in a non-custodial way. It's impossible. There's a good illusion that Peter Risen used, who was one of the best people in Bitcoin, and he was the chief scientist of Bitcoin Unlimited that builds in Bitcoin Cash. He said, like, to create liquidity is just like you're creating chains that you're sending beads across, and they can only go across there. And you can't send it over there, without creating these other nodes, and it's impossible. So yeah, I think what you're saying is right, that we really have something amazing.
Every time you open a Lightning channel, you close a Lightning channel, you do a recall of a transaction. They're all layer 1 transactions on the Bitcoin network. So
yeah,
Lightning is going to have a hell of a time scaling unless they basically have it massively centralized and do stuff differently than what they're doing.
So what you're saying, we have something so special here, and we're having a great conversation with a really cool product coming out called Mirage Sale, which I'm not going to really plug it per se, but it's a Monero product, but it's going to be now cross coins.
Yeah.
And you look at important coins in the community, and certainly Monero is one, and probably one of the most important because of its privacy features, but it's not built to be peer-to-peer cash. And there is, Bitcoin Cash is a public blockchain, and there's certainly good uses for public blockchains,
Very good uses.
even though privacy is very important.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be multiple very important coins,
Yeah.
and if you're in Bitcoin Cash space, you're in a very important coin that has high utility to solve these issues. No matter what happens to community members, no matter what happens in L2 with Smart BCH, I know a lot of people are very involved in Smart BCH and are highly affected by it. Me, not as much, and that's the problem with centralization that existed on the chain that we all inherently knew, and we're waiting for Shawgate to be the answer. And some people doubt that Shawgate can ever be the answer. I can't technically speak to that, but my heart's in Bitcoin Cash. I see that as a cherry on top, but it's because of the peer-to-peer cash nature, and that hasn't changed no matter what you feel towards someone else that you feel is underperforming or creepy or these different things, right? They're just people. And one of the things that I also said about Monero, which is interesting, is Monero is the official currency of ISIS, but it's an amazing currency, and that's actually a good feature to it that we do not like ISIS. They're I don't want to jump into it, right? They're bad people, right? So, but it's just good money, and we just want good money, better than money that we use, fiat currency. So no matter who you're mad at, where do you go? Do you leave the community? Are you going to discourage other people to leave the community? Because that's the threat when we attack these people, and why I kind of want to have a big tent approach to Bitcoin Cash. Sorry, Blackman. We have to be big tent.
Indeed.
It can't just be crypto anarchist libertarians, right? We need communists that use Bitcoin Cash. We need Democrats. We need everyone to use Bitcoin Cash. So when you attack these people, they're going to be less likely to use our coin. So I don't know.
I'm in Las Vegas right now. I've seen people with a couple of thousand and lose it next day. Is he talking about Smart Bitcoin Cash?
No, he's
Oh.
So I'll read it out loud. Alex says, I'm in Vegas right now. I've seen people win a couple thousand and lose it the next day. They get sad, try to win a rigged game. Ironically, they probably see the stock market in crypto as the same. So yeah, I refuse to gamble for that reason. I'll gamble a little bit with, I'm staying at the Wynn when I go to Boston with Vlad. But yeah, I get frustrated gambling too, because I know it's a house game. Unless I get to play poker. Poker, you're playing against someone else, so you can actually have some skill there to actually game your outcome. Excuse me. But yeah, in terms of investing, you have to. So Alex is such a good investor. Alex crushes the market by returns. Everyone should follow his channel. He doesn't upload as much as he used to.
Well, what's his channel?
Blood Phantom 81. He's a very good investor.
Blood Phantom?
Yeah, he crushes the market every year. He probably doubles and triples his money every single year. And that's very important because crypto is a very good tool for that. And Alex, for as long as I've known Alex, he's always been in crypto, but not really for, I think, his philosophic reasons as someone like me, but because he understands the nature of markets and the natures of supply and demand and human interactions, and he's very good technically. He understands all the technical moves, and very smart guy. I mean, Alex have similar views just on the nature of life too, so I always enjoy talking to Alex. So anyone here, check out Alex's channel. You'll learn a lot. And a lot of people are in crypto for nothing to do with even the reasons we talk about, but more because it's a vehicle to grow your wealth, because it's a very small asset class that is growing very fast. So, but yeah, anyone else here want to talk about more drama in the Bitcoin Cash space? Because I want to create an area to just air it out. Well, we can talk it through, and hopefully bring some more positive solutions to some of the things that we are dealing with now. And some of those people may even be in the audience right now, but and yeah, I don't know how we get through it. I think the bull market will solve a lot of things. I think we're a couple years away from the bull market, but it's generally how I think about it. So we still have 5 in the chat. What do you guys think?
I mean, like, I just also personally think, like, we're all trying to attain wealth, and we're all trying to kind of build Bitcoin Cash together. So I think the more we work together and we could put things aside and focus on internal growth, because imagine us being like an empire, Bitcoin Cash empire, but how does an empire fall apart? Generally from the inside. So if we fall apart from the inside and everyone's fighting against each other, then that's how we break apart. But if we stick together and we fight the battle together, I feel like we can definitely make a big push for, Bitcoin Cash in the future.
Here, he's got a call. Alex says, thanks, Rye. I'm focusing more on real estate these days. I've been thinking more about doomsday scenarios lately. For example, rents were still stable during 2008 crash. Income is so important. Absolutely. First mill likes no jobs. Yes. Yeah. I think we're just poking fun at him at this point. BCH is a sleeping giant that will amaze the world. I mean, it certainly has the utility too. Something I like to point out too, and I know there's some work in the community on it, that I think Bitcoin Cash needs more wallet solutions. I think Bitcoin.com is an amazing product. I think it's a problem that is closed source, and that we don't have a strong number 2 mobile application. I know people like to use, what are some of the popular desktop ones? I've used them for Flipstart, Electron Cash, and things like that.
Yeah.
That have some cache fusion capabilities too. So these are good criticisms that I think we should be focusing on things like this more that actually have solutions that are real utility, and rather than attacking personalities, right? We should focus on things that can really strengthen the community. And I guess pushing people to work harder on their flip starters is a way to do it, but like think about the way you approach people. If you feel like someone's underperforming, just by making them feel bad about themselves for underperforming, that's not going to necessarily work, right? Like how can they help you, right? Like rather than, hey man, I see you haven't been making that much content lately. There's probably a reason for that, right? Like I can say I'm going through it. I know Vlad's going through it. We have businesses that we run. I have family and that. And if we could all reach it. Mark's been such a great resource for me. Mark has been so helpful, in helping me onboard. That's how we build community, is by helping our fellow community members rather than attacking them. So these are just ideas, that we could do. Vlad, saw I had an event this weekend, came down to help me. I'm gonna go up there, help him onboard some businesses. I went out to St. Kitts to help them out there and learn what they're doing. Let's try to help each other, not attack each other, because we all believe in the same vision for the world. So we're actually friends, but we're doing quite a bit of infighting. And I really think it's the nature of the market. I think if we were all up 10x on our BCH right now, we wouldn't care if someone didn't make a video for a couple weeks. Just my thought. Roger Vera preaches economic freedom. Have you all seen the noticeable improvement in economic mobility in countries that have adopted BCH more widely, BCH lately? So you could look at, St. Kitts is an area that has a lot of Bitcoin Cash adoption, but they've actually been doing so well in terms of bringing more wealth to the country because of not only Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is there because they've incentivized people like Roger Vera to move there that are high income and are looking for more economic freedom. So capital flows to areas that it's most welcome. They don't have taxes, they don't have things like that. So by that nature, Bitcoin Cash has found the island. And a lot of the islands have huge issues with remittances. So sending money cross-border to different islands, to the States. It's very high fee. It's predatory fees with like Western Union. Like it costs like 20% to move dollars to the States. And it's a large issue. So Bitcoin Cash is a solution for these problems. Many of the people on the islands are unbanked. I think about 40% of the islands unbanked. So this allows them to get bank accounts. So I think it's so early to determine what's the causation there, but definitely economic freedom is allowing St. Kitts to have more prosperous people there. And actually in November, they're gonna get a nice influx of Bitcoin Cash to the island as they're throwing a huge conference, which I'll be going back out there. I need to book my tickets this weekend. I spoke to Sonny and said I would. So excited to see any of you guys out there. Is anyone else here planning to go to St. Kitts to the Bitcoin Cash conference? Vlad's looking at it. He may go out there. Mark is on the fence. He's very excited they got rid of the vaccine mandate, so he's maybe a little bit more likely to go. I think it's interesting that for a very libertarian community, it wouldn't have worked, and that's why they were looking at St. Martin before, because they didn't have the same requirements. I don't think anyone would have really gone, but it's official now. You don't have to have your vaccine records to go there. So that's, I don't know if that answers your question, but I think it at least gives some context.
I'd like to add a little bit to that question as well.
Do they have nice resorts? They do, actually. So the event's going to be at the Royal St. Kitts, which is a very nice resort. And they have a very nice Marriott. You can stay across the street too. I stayed in the Royal St. Kitts when I went there, and if you saw my YouTube video of my trip to St. Kitts.
So in response to the last question, here in Florida, we're seeing a tremendous boom because of the economic and freedom and physical freedoms, constitutional freedoms that we have here that people are allowed to practice. And I think we're also seeing a massive amount of crypto adoption, and including Bitcoin Cash adoption specifically. But we have a lot of people coming here for crypto events like the one we just went to today, from different states and sometimes different countries. We were especially seeing in Miami-Dade County massive, not just people attending conferences, but also support from local officials and possibly even state level officials. So I think it's certainly doing great things for the state of Florida, and I expect would do for other states that approach things in a similar fashion.
Yeah, like there's general videos that just like rate countries by like levels of economic freedom, and Roger has mentioned it in several speeches, but most Austrian economics will talk about it, just equating standard of living and economic freedom. There's a strong correlation there, and I guess in adding the drama too, it looks like CoinFlex holders can now get 10% of their funds back, that I hear. Because that's a big issue in the community. I understand people are understandably upset with.
Sure.
That CoinFlex is having solvency issues, and it really affected a lot of the smart BCH users with the bridge, and certainly one of the most popular figures in crypto in general, Roger Ver, being in the thick of it and being alleged to owe $84 million, and it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. And I think, as a community and having like such a big figure as, when is our Vision Quest? When you have such a big figure like Roger Ver, like you can't let it be the end all. It's certainly, what have we got? Matt Money saying St. Kitts is a small island nation. I need to go there. Come in November, Matt. Matt, we're doing a crypto conference. There's full crypto adoption in St. Kitts. You can spend Bitcoin Cash at just about every single business in Bitcoin Cash, and amongst other neighboring islands. So in St. Martin, same thing, very high adoption rates. The head of parliament takes his full salary in Bitcoin Cash. There's lots of adoption, and that's a big reason we're going to go out there to embrace what's been going on there and continue to grow. But yeah, I guess in general, I'm curious to see general feedback. I've asked different people their opinions on the Mark Lamb and Roger Ver situation and what they make of it, and hopefully a good resolution. What do you guys think about? Matt, you got to come, bud. It's going to be a real blast, dude. I'll send you the information. What do you guys think about the CoinFlex, Roger Ver, Mark Lamb situation?
I mean, personally, like I said, like as long as like Shawgate comes into fruition, like I feel like a lot of people's funds are safe. But like if you're invested in CoinFlex,
For people to explain Shawgate to people that may not know.
So right now, basically, like the only way to get into Smart Bitcoin Cash before was through a centralized system. Pretty much, like everything was going through CoinFlex, whether it was Hop.cash or if you were using like the Mist swap, like anything essentially was still going through Hop. Even the Mist bridge used Hop Cash first. So either way, you're going through CoinFlex to get on to Smart Bitcoin Cash. So it was never decentralized. Shawgate was essentially the solution to everybody being able to seamlessly put their Bitcoin Cash and convert it into Smart Bitcoin Cash without anybody holding it and doing that manually for you. So the power to you. But that is yet to be seen. That was supposed to be, I believe, this May was supposed to come to life, and then now it's being pushed to September, and I have been away from the space a little bit, so I'm not really too sure about any additional updates on when it's getting added now, but I feel like that could ultimately still save a good amount of trust in Smart Bitcoin Cash, and I feel like it can regain some sort of credibility for it, but the figures involved, I feel like they're still going to be under scrutiny, which, it's unfortunate because they've both done so much to contribute to the Bitcoin Cash and Smart Bitcoin Cash communities. So, I just hope some sort of amends is made, and, I think that ultimately, if people can pull their money, can have access to their crypto through Shawgate, I feel like ultimately there is some sort of resolution there. But if you were invested in like CoinFlex, like that's a whole other issue. If you're like into the Flex coin, like that's where like you kind of run into some problems, because do you regain from Flex USD? How do you recover that?
That's I want to ask about the CoinFlex depositors too, but we have a question I want to make sure we talk about. I'm also curious about marketing efforts. BCH could really benefit from better marketing, but obviously nobody owns it like enterprise. Should it operate more like business? So as we were talking about this, Alex, because just like I'm a business owner, I know how to market my business, right? But this is a decentralized, network, and it's the beauty of it, right? But it's so much harder to build communities and a common direction, a common way of marketing it. So yeah, it becomes really, anyone can market it any way they want. So I market Bitcoin Cash myself. Vlad may do it slightly different than I. Roger Ver and Sonny may do it a different way. Mark Fosan may do it different. Marky Liberty may do it different. So it's just a different way of building capital, right? We're building more equity. We're trying to figure out ways to do it. And eventually Bitcoin Cash needs to be so decentralized where our enemies use it, where people you hate use it, and it just needs to be money. It just needs to be able to buy you lunch, right? Like, it doesn't need to be a marketed or political, effort every time I do something. It just needs to work as money and be better money than other options. I do want to add, you talked a lot about Smart BCH there, which is really important to a lot of people that have money in this new innovation on Bitcoin Cash. But what about CoinFlex depositors? That they're also just as effective. So, like, while Smart BCH suffers because it has a centralized bridge, these community members that can't get the capital back to their holders. I mean, do you feel for them, and what are solutions for them at this point?
So I don't really have a good answer for that, to be honest, because like ultimately, what do you do? It's like the two parties involved are like the ones who are going to ultimately come up with the resolution. Like, I feel terrible for everybody who's involved in this because it's their assets and they're watching them decrease substantially. But what can you do? Like, there's not really much that anyone can do at this moment. It's more so like the resolution that comes between the two parties, and that's ultimately what's going to decide like where all the investors.
And I'll share this, and I want to share here because I feel like we need more context from Roger's side on the whole situation, because I feel like a lot of the community and a lot of people that give Roger Ver a hard time owe him a bit of a debt of gratitude for being an early investor and doing a lot for crypto. But also, could that lead to an end where people may not want to criticize him, where he may receive criticism? We don't know until he hasn't spoken his position. Mark Lamb's made it very clear that he's just been very transparent, or at least attempting to be. Alleging he's saying everything's truthful. And the nature of it. So it's a very difficult thing, and it just, I guess it sucks for the community, but it may be a good thing for the community that like one of the biggest figures in the community, we have to make sure that like it's not centralized around him. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So we got a couple more questions here. Any ideas what the average Joe could do to promote BCH effectively?
On board.
Are you an average Joe or no? No, you're
share our
Use
content.
cash. Yeah.
Share our content, blast it on Twitter.
I had the same. So Alex had the same question as BCH had. Maybe supporting BCH friendly businesses is the first step. Beyond that, I'm not sure. So the average person could just use it. And what I mean by that is, instead of buying your next purchase on Amazon, go and save yourself some money on Purse.io. Wait a couple days. Purse.io is great if you want to save money. You can save up to 15% on all your purchases, but just use the currency. And it's so important. Like, right now, Bitcoin has done better in price than Bitcoin Cash, but Ethereum is doing better. And why is Ethereum doing better? Because it has more utility than Bitcoin. So while the BTC crowd thinks that they're gonna win because it's a store of value, people are just always gonna buy it because it's a store of value. But actually, coins that prove to have more utility will use it, and that'll have reason for the price to go up because people will need to hold it because of its utility. So use it, support friendly businesses that do it, onboard.
I think sharing content is like a really big thing too. I mean, we live in a digital age where, if you put out content for other people to see, might attract someone's attention, someone might become an investor.
Certainly buy a little, right?
I mean, buy.
Buy and hold.
Accept it for payment.
And then just educate. I mean, like we were seeing at conference today, a lot of people don't even really know
I got an
about
idea.
it.
I got
don't
an
know
idea.
what its
Tip someone.
capabilities are.
Tip someone extra. When someone does something for you, pay them on the currency, the dollars or the euros, wherever you're at, and then say, I'm going to leave you an extra for helping me. Here's an extra $5-10 in it. Give them a non-custodial wallet. And I want to start promoting other wallets besides Bitcoin.com because of its closed source nature, but it's one of the best crypto wallets that's out there. So use the shareable link. Text someone money. They don't even have to sign up. They don't have to KYC themselves. Show them how to back up their keys. When I bought pizza tonight, I gave the girl a couple months ago some Bitcoin Cash, and I gave her a card to write down her seed phrase. She kept the card. She got a new phone. She lost her money. She did understand. She forgot to transfer at the time, but she was able to recover her funds because she had her seed phrase.
I have a video of that. I'm going to put that on Twitter. So if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, or Ryan, or Mark, follow us on Twitter, but I'll post that video of the recovery.
Our current society has taught people that someone else is going to take care of your money for you. Give it to the bank. They're probably going to give it back to you. And too many times you see in history on exchanges like CoinFlex or Voyager that got me, and bank accounts in countries like Cuba, my grandfather. I can tell you 100 examples of why letting someone else hold your money is a bad idea. Mm-hmm. But the problem is that we don't teach the importance of holding your own money, and that's what we're trying to do here, and Bitcoin Cash tries to do. But they'll teach them the responsibility of holding their own funds and having sovereign control. That's all. That was the innovation of Bitcoin. It was allowed you to take sovereign control of your money in a digital space. That's the most amazing thing about it. So I think those are all solid things. Any other ideas on how the average person could promote Bitcoin Cash? Use it, save it, buy it. It's just money. How do you promote the dollar? Maybe like in a rap video, they hold up like a bunch of money and stuff like that, or something like that, flex the money. Like, how do you flex your BCH? Now, you don't want to flex that; they'll come in. If you hold your money, they can come take it from you. So be careful. So, any other drama anyone else wants to address that we can maybe, clear air on and talk about? If not, we're coming on about 40 minutes in this video. We got to prepare for the event tomorrow, so we'll probably start doing that, guys. I wanted to take advantage of Mark and Vlad to hop on and just do a little chat. Vlad flies out tomorrow, so thank you for coming down, brother. I appreciate it.
It was a great experience. It was fun.
Great venue.
Definitely gonna come to the next event down here and be down in St. Kitts hopefully.
Yeah. So I moved my golf tournament's going to be in May. If anyone wants to come to South Florida, those dates will be coming out soon. So another Bitcoin Cash event, and St. Kitts is in November, and we'll continue on moving through the bear market, accumulating more coins and using more coins, and going from there. So Vlad looks way different in person, more like Chad. Who's Chad?
I honestly have no idea who Chad is. I'm just laughing.
That's funny. Yeah, it's crazy. Like Alex, we'll probably meet in person one day, hopefully soon. But you meet someone digitally for so long, and it's a very interesting conversation. Very interesting to meet someone you only know digitally. BCH Chad goes, thank you. Will you record stream your presentation? So unfortunately, I have to push that back. My brother had his child last night, and I had to go there. But I will record. I recorded a lot of footage from today, hanging with Vlad and networking. I'm gonna have footage tomorrow of the booth and more onboarding that we'll do when promoting a Bitcoin Cash. I will be speaking at the next Crypto Connect event due to the circumstances of a family emergency I had. But I definitely want to take advantage of every bit of I could of this event and the company I have and there. So I hope, thank you guys for hopping in the chat. If you have any other questions, we're going to wind this down. You guys want to add any closing remarks? I have a question here. Do you think that BCH is being manipulated by large operators or governments so that it does not grow? I personally believe, and I don't have all the evidence, but I believe that Bitcoin BTC is co-op not to be good cash because it would have taken over the world by now, and people would not be using dollars if they had raised the block size, and we wouldn't have to go out here and market a different version of Bitcoin or all these other coins. We could have had Bitcoin was the answer, and I think it was co-op by people that did not want to threaten the dollar and the other large financial institutions that benefit off fees and all those other things that peer-to-peer cash eliminates the reason for them to exist. So yes, I do think BCH was co-opted, but what I mean by the BCH BCH. I don't want to confuse. BCH is not the current Bitcoin, but BCH was Bitcoin and it was co-opted. So that's my feeling towards it, and that's why I think Bitcoin Cash is worthwhile. It's an uphill battle because of all the destruction that Bitcoin has done to peer-to-peer cash, and that's my thoughts. What do you guys think?
And there's a great movie on that topic. It's called Who Killed Bitcoin, BTC, or Who Killed Bitcoin. If you guys haven't seen that, it goes into a lot of the specifics of who was involved and
Yeah, everything I
how it
just
all
said
played
there.
out.
It's a terrific documentary.
Covers a lot of history, so I would recommend everybody watch that if they haven't seen it yet.
It's on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who killed Bitcoin? We would not be using dollars right now if we just all we do is raise the block size. There wouldn't be all these different forks. We wanted to be peer-to-peer cash. Lightning is still how many years later? 5 years later, and not scalable, and
Still
can't
doesn't
figure it out.
scale. and they couldn't use it in El Salvador, and that would have been a perfect place to use it.
But also like you're not really doing anything like that innovative if you're scaling in custodial solutions. If someone else is holding your money for you, you're not really changing. Yeah, that you're using a more finite resource, I guess, and not something that can be printed. But also there's a fear, and with Lightning being used by central players, that if you go off chain, that they start printing all these Lightning IOUs. All it is it's an IOU of a Bitcoin. And if we learn what history has taught us, that using IOUs for gold meant people were lying about how much gold they were having, and caused a bunch of issues. And we're just recreating the same mess that we had with that. Bitcoin is better than gold. Bitcoin Cash is better than Bitcoin, and we solved all these issues with money in the past. That now we're back to an IOU system. We don't need an IOU system. Bitcoin Cash works. You can move the gold. The gold can move lightning fast.
As a matter of fact, what you say is exactly what's going on in El Salvador with the Shiba wallet. They've created more digits in the centralized Shiba wallet than they have Bitcoin to back it up. So we're back to a fractional reserve.
It's like they made this amazing technology, the blockchain, but we're not going to use it. We're going to create new technology.
Well, and the gentleman I spoke to basically said it's the government not wanting to lose control. So the government.
Well, that's also why they're like
what was
forcing
in their
it.
best interest.
That's why they're like forcing it instead of like letting like organically people like adopt it. Like they're just saying, hey, you have to accept it. You have to, you have to legally accept it, and that's no way to, create decentralization at all.
So those are my thoughts towards it, guys. So we were talking about closing thoughts before we got that question. Mark, closing thoughts?
Just stick with it, guys. It's a great time to dollar cost average into Bitcoin Cash and your other favorite cryptos. Just spread the word, even if you're not helping with adoption. Just go out there and try and educate people as to what Bitcoin Cash is, how it can be used. Do something as simple as get them to download a wallet. Choose your favorite wallet, or just choose the Bitcoin.com wallet. Send them some sats. So I'll show them how fast and cheap it is, and tell them, explain to them, hey, if I had done the same thing with Bitcoin, it probably would cost me up, 50 cents a buck, maybe even more.
Last time you asked me to send you some BTC, it cost me like 2 and change.
Yeah. Ryan sent me $2 in BTC, and it cost him, I think, like $1.70 something in fees. And he could have done the same thing in Bitcoin Cash for less than 1/10 of a penny. And the same thing with Ethereum. I mean, the fees on Ethereum may be $2, just to send a transaction. So for regular payments, it doesn't make sense. For maybe larger investment type transactions, it does. But for most day-to-day payments, it doesn't make sense. So just do what you can, guys. Spread the word. Educate, share some stats, and continue to dollar cost average.
Vlad, closing thoughts?
Let's get some more people making some BCH content on YouTube, guys. We gotta spread the love. We gotta keep talking about it. I mean, the more people that talk about it, the more people that become an active member of the community. The more that the growth continues. So let's just let's keep positive. I know there's a lot of like bad things that have been in like the recent months, but we're gonna get past that, and let's keep pushing forward.
I'm gonna make like Michael Saylor and get out of here. He's no longer the CEO of MicroStrategy. So there's bad things happening in every community. So so that's my thoughts around it. I think that there's a lot of people at each other's throats. I think the one thing I'd like to add to that, if you could do it in a more private manner rather than putting people in the public area, like try to understand people, try to help people. And don't get me wrong, people do deserve to get criticized. I'm not saying that, but I just think in the down market, there's too much of it, there's too much infighting, and I want to do whatever I can to help diffuse some of that so we can get back to being a healthier, happy community, and hopefully we all can meet and share hugs in St. Kitts and make up and spend a lot of Bitcoin Cash in St. Kitts, in the most friendly island for Bitcoin Cash. So guys, thank you so much for coming to hang out. I appreciate it. You guys have a great, safe weekend. I'm gonna make a video of this weekend that we're doing and hope to make a lot more content coming up. I've been, like I said, with Vlad, we've been pulled in different areas of our business, but we're lucky, people like Mark come in and help me have been huge, and let's lend a helping hand to others in the community and continue building. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Thanks for doing this, Ryan.